Greetings YouTube, this is Longbow. Let us go pick another wild edible. Like the fiddleheads, I like to keep this one on my property in order to know what, to know when it's ready to pick them. When the ones on my property are ripe, then the ones out in the wild should be ripe as well. That little flower I showed you really had nothing to do with what I'm actually going to be picking today. The wild edible we're going to be harvesting today is known as the wild garlic, or Allium canadense. And here is a small sample that I like to keep on my property, as I said, as a barometer, as to, know when it's ready. You can identify it by its long, spear-shaped leafy stalks, kind of similar to grass. And the stalks of the mature plants have a reddish hue in the stem, and below that there's a white bulb, and that's some good eating. You can also eat the leaves. So let's go harvest these. However, unfortunately, I cannot reveal the location of this garlic harvesting site I'm heading to because it's top secret. So here we are in this secret wilderness location, searching for some wild garlics. We're seeing lots of trilliums, but not as many of these. Here's the garlics themselves. You can notice them by the long grass-like stalk, or leaves. The stems of the more mature ones are kind of reddish in color. Just dig your finger way down into the ground next to it. You should feel the bulb. There it is. Bulb of the wild garlic, also known as Canada onion, Canada garlic, and goes by the Latin term, was it Allium canadense?
Oh, you found a nice little spot, right?
Yes, I did.
So, Rachel's doing that too.
Bounty for all. So I'm just gonna continue picking some of these. I don't want to empty out the whole spot though. The conscientious harvester leaves some for the next year. Yep. Garlicky goodness. This one's being stubborn. There we go. See, I think I'm gonna grab one more from this little patch and then move on. So here's another nice big patch of them. Quite a few in this area. And pretty much the easiest way I've found to get them. Just kind of dig next to the stalk and bend it over. That breaks the roots underneath and they're easy to pick up. I've been picking this little batch for a while. Looks like there's still quite a few many there. Oh, I'm shooting at the YouTube video. But I don't want to pick it bare, and plus these ones are all pretty small. They have small bulbs. There's a couple more nice ones here though. This big guy. Oh yeah. But it's time to move on. Otherwise this little patch will be destroyed and we don't want to do that. Well, there's two varieties of garlic. Shooting a video again. There's two varieties of garlic that appear to grow in this bush. There's this one here with very pale green leaves, and there's no markings on them. But right over here next to it, there's this other variety, and that's toxic. You can see it's got some veins going along the surface, and it tends to be kind of spotty. Every once in a while you'll get one that's got a little bulb growing out of it, and you don't want to eat that. But they are very, very similar. These here on the right side of the screen are edible. This one on the left is not. Very similar. They look yummy.
That I see. Oh yeah, I found hundreds of those.
Freaky little guy.
Yeah, it's cool. If you turn them over, if you pick them up, look, see, they curl. He's going to hide. Cool, right?
Indeed.
There was two of them on a rock. Dude, that's called a millipede. Find them everywhere.
Either millipede or centipede.
Oh, my hands are feeling disgusting.
Lived here for 35 years and I've never seen one of these before.
Really?
Yep. And I saw 3 today. Get an idea of how big this sucker. Where is he?
Michael's like, wow, this is cool.
There's my thumb. Pretty big bug. Oh, here's another nice little patch. They tend to grow in small clusters like this, and they grow similarly to onions in that they'll get to a certain size and then they'll split. You can tell when they're starting to split, they'll have multiple leaves. And as a general rule, those are the only ones that I pick. If they have 2 leaves, they're mature, good to pick. If they only have a single leaf, which is that one, not quite ready. And that way you'll make sure you always get the big garlics, and the little ones will be ready next year. It's the same patch, different vantage point. Dang it. It keeps snapping off in the ground. I hate it when that happens. it's thinned out, but it's not ravaged. You could come back here next year and find plenty of nice big ones.
Yeah, we did go quite a bit further into the woods.
The trillium.
Because there's the
Provincial flower.
plastic on the tree.
It's a nice pure white one. And some purple ones. These are actually all the same species. Just recessive genes, and also the soil conditions will affect their color. So, we're back in civilization, and I managed to get 4 shopping bags full of wild garlics. And I've already prepared one of them. And, well, we'll show you how to prepare these for cooking. A lot of people think that only the bulbs are edible, but you can actually eat the leaves as well. Ideally, you don't want the crappy yellow ones, you want the nice, tasty, flawless green ones. So let's prep the remainder of these. So here's the finished product. Nice, tasty wild garlic bulbs. Oops. That's what they look like after they've been cleaned up and whatnot. Very tasty. They have a kind of a flavor, both of onions and garlic. They're very pungent. So I got one bowl here for my bulbs and another pot here for the leaves. Here they are in their raw state, all muddy and gross. So, to start it off, I'm going to take my trusty santoku and just cut off the bulbs here, right where the red starts. I don't want to eat the red part, but the green part you can eat, and the white part you can eat. Bulbs go in there. Leaves in there. Well, here's one of my shopping bags done. That's surprising or not, that's probably around $50 to $60 worth of wild garlics. These things are a delicacy, especially in Quebec, where it's illegal to pick and sell them in large quantities anyway. You're not allowed any more than 200 bulbs in Quebec because they're just crazy over there. They pick them until they go extinct. See, ideally you should only pick about 40% of any given patch if you want it to survive. Some people don't have that knowledge. Now, just like an onion, these things, they have a papery coating that's got to come off. And that'll be part of the next step. So I'm just going to wash them here in the sink and trim off the little root bulb here at the end. And I also found a few that had some particularly nice root clusters on them. So I'm going to save them and plant them in the garden. Just wash all the mud off of these. And now I'll just peel the skins off and store the bulbs in here. And everything that is not bulb will be going into the little compost bin here. There, so I got one bag of these things, relatively cleaned up. You can see the water there is still a little bit muddy, so we'll give them another good rinse. Whoop. Dang it. Let's keep rinsing them up until the water comes out clear. And we're pretty much there now. So that's one of my shopping bags done. At this point I can just pick out the little pieces of paper and whatnot. Right on, now to preserve these properly. Alright, so we got our cleaned up wild garlic here. Now we're gonna stick it in these here mason jars. Oh, one thing you do not want to do with this stuff is cook it, because that just destroys the flavor. It'll end up tasting like a can full of pickled tofu. So, got 2 mason jars. I'm going to take some nice, lovely white vinegar. I'm going to put 2 cups in here. Now the remaining 2 cups, we're going to fill with water. So we've got a 50-50 water vinegar solution here. Now we're going to take some salt, about 2 tablespoons, and put that in there. Bit of wee stir. Now we'll take our cleaned up garlics and add them to the mason jars. These will not be sterile, so they do have a limited shelf life, but that usually isn't a problem because these things are darn tasty. And they tend to go rather quickly. Have to wash those again. Alright, that's about a $30 jar right there. We'll just add our salt and our water and vinegar solution. We want all the garlics covered. Perfect. We add our mason jar lid. And good to go. Mmm. Nummy. garlicky. Alrighty, so the last thing I'm going to do with these wild garlics is I'm going to make some garlic butter. And this is dead easy. So what I've done is I've taken the primo leaves, the choice ones that have absolutely no blemishes or dead spots or whatever, and I've just given them a quick rinse to get rid of any creepy crawlies that might be still living in there. And all we're going to do is we're going to add those wild garlic leaves to the food processor. I'll do half a batch at a time, I guess. So I put in half of it there, of this large bowl, and to that I'm going to add approximately 100 grams of butter. I'd meant to just defrost this, but I ended up melting it. No matter. Probably a bit much, but I'm going to be mixing the two batches anyway. Now we'll activate this beast. It's important to make sure that it's on the on setting. And there it is, the lovely garlic butter. Looks kind of like guac. But yeah, now I'm just gonna pop this in the freezer and wait for corn on the cob season. Could also just put it on some toast, I imagine, and make some garlic bread. Well, there you have it, the wonders of wild garlic and how to prepare them in 2 ways. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or adoration and praise, feel free to leave it down in the comments below.